Hey, Lightning, I'm an avid listener of the show, and I've written in a few times before.
Wait. Have you heard?
No, it's before I get to that.
Oh, but we start the show with, hey, Lightning, have you heard?
No, this precedes that.
But shouldn't I say, hey, shouldn't you say, Holman, have you heard, and then you read it?
All right, go for it.
No, you say, Holman, have you heard?
Holman, have you heard?
Well, that's not very good.
Holman, have you heard? Holman, have you heard?
This isn't working. Just keep reading whatever letter you're doing. You're not good at this.
Oh, my God. Where did I leave off? I reside in Wisconsin. I was happy to hear that you guys enjoyed your visit to AMSOIL. It was during your latest Have You Heard episode that I thought, I think Lightning might need some new no samples to use for his shtick. By the way, it's not shtick. It's legit. It's audio magic. Don't get me wrong. I'm probably a bigger fan of your podcast producing than I should be, but good to change things up once in a while, right? See the attached for a collection of samples that I produced with my daughter, Maya, age 3.5 years. She had a lot of fun recording these, and I've included the best ones for your consideration. I'm not a sound engineer, so I'm not even sure they're usable, but I thought sending something your way would be a fun idea. I trust the Bollards are holding up well, that Bollards are holding up well. I'm going to do a Life with Bollards recap video here soon.
Oh, my God.
And, yep, I got Maya on tap.
You know what's funny is I'm going to expand my YouTube. I've been working on it's going to be Life with Lightning. And it's just going to be, the last 7 years of podcasting with you on a weekly basis.
Please don't.
Sometimes double a weekly basis.
Please don't.
The Truck Show. We're gonna show you what we know. We're gonna answer what the truck. 'Cause truck rhymes with the Truck Show. We have the lifted, we have the lowered, and everything in between. We'll talk about trucks that run on diesel and the ones that run on gasoline. The Truck Show, the Truck Show, the Truck Show, whoa, whoa.
It's the Truck Show with your hosts, Lightning and Holman.
This episode of the Truck Show podcast, Have You Heard?, is proudly presented by Nissan. Nissan has a truck for every need, along with the legendary Nissan durability. Test drive your next truck at a local Nissan dealer today, or point your browser to nissanusa.com, where you can use the build and price tool to configure a Nissan truck that fits your lifestyle.
And when you're thinking about adding power or improving fuel economy, Banks has over 65 years of experience. Whether it's cold air intakes or exhaust systems, tuning, throttle control, charge air cooling, lubrication components, and much more, no one offers smarter, safer, 50-state emissions-compliant performance parts than Gale Banks. You'll find the best engineered parts for your truck at bankspower.com.
And when you're looking for quality, full synthetic lubrication for your truck, AMSOIL has you covered with motor oil, lubricants and protectants, grease, additives, and more. AMSOIL synthetic lubricants deliver wear protection, engine cleanliness, and fuel efficiency that conventional oils simply can't match. Find out how AMSOIL synthetic lubricants can save you money and time by helping your vehicles run better and last longer than with conventional oils at AMSOIL.com. When it comes to lubrication, AMSOIL is the leader in synthetics.
There has never been a better time to buy a retractable tonneau cover at EGRUSA.com. EGR just kicked off a freaking huge sale. You can get up to 30% off plus a rebate of $250 on all manual roll track bed covers. Let me say that again. You can save up to 30% off the best roll top tonneau covers, the EGR roll track, plus an additional $250 rebate. Hit their online store today at EGRUSA.com.
All right, finally, let's do this right. Hey, Lightning, have you heard?
Nope.
Thanks, Maya.
So, Lightning, remember when we were talking about different Durango kind of like final editions? There's the Hammerhead last month. I think we talked about the Silver Bullet.
Yeah, I was going to say one was named after like a Coors can, right?
Yeah, Silver Bullet. And then now apparently there's a new Durango Hellcat special flavor, and that's going to be Brass Monkey.
Wait, after the Beastie Boys song?
So it's...
you mean That Funky Monkey?
That Funky Monkey. So this Funky Monkey has red oxide paint. It's got a satin black hood, 20-inch Brass Monkey wheels, which is that sintered bronze like my old Jeep color on the wheels I had. Anyway, black exhaust tips, dark calipers, 6-piston Brembos. Seats are wrapped in sepia Laguna leather with silver sepia accent stitching and SRT Hellcat logos.
I'm trying to picture, what is sepia, the color sepia?
It's like that, like tan, like old photos.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you had the sepia filter in
Right.
your Instagram. Yes, of course.
All right, so and all that just because it has to justify its new price point. And so the suede headliner and forged carbon fiber trim, if that wasn't enough, what do you think the price is on this bad boy? And remember, it has a premium wrapped instrument panel and steering wheel covered in leather and suede.
Did they get Mike D to sign the
Sadly, no.
headrest or something?
Sadly, no.
No.
It does have a 19-speaker Harman Kardon sound system.
I put in the monkey and I mixed it in a cup. I'm guessing they are
710 horsepower, 645 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, quarter mile in 11 seconds, maxes out at freaking 180. An SUV that 180 miles an hour.
Wow. I reached in the locker, grabbed the special fly.
Stop. What do you think it's worth?
111,000.
113, 720 before destination.
Come on with that.
For a platform that came out, well, I don't even remember. What was it?
Ad Rock Drinks 3. Mike D is D.
I think 2010 was when this platform came out. And you're going to
Damn,
pay
they are-
114. And this Lance is like, hey, all of our sales are tanking. And it's like, yeah, because you're charging like over $100,000 for mom's minivan.
Yeah.
That's shaped like an SUV. I mean, I like it, but I don't like it for 114
There's
grand.
a guy with a Hellcat version. I don't know, one of the versions, and he cruises through the carpool lane. And he doesn't have anyone with him.
Of course.
he's breaking the law, and he passes me. It's like once every 2 weeks he'll cruise along in the carpool lane. I'm in the number one because I don't want that ticket in California.
Yeah, that's a bad
carpool
one.
lane is what? It's over $400 now, isn't it? Just for being in that lane.
First offense.
Yeah, first offense.
It goes up from there.
And he cruises me, and he stops by the TRX every time. I see him coming because it's black.
Yep.
And he's rolling along, and he pulls up to me, and he just goes, "Roar,
Yeah, 'cause
roar,
he thinks you're his people.
roar." No, but he's trying to race me.
And then
every time.
you're like, I don't have loud exhaust anymore.
But no, but it picks up the front wheels because it squats,
Yeah,
and so
of
the
course.
front lifts a little bit. He's like, "Roar, roar," and I look over, and I'm like, I'm not racing you, dude. Roar. And one of these times, I am just going to lay into it. After I've done like an oversized pulley, and I'm on E85 and tuned for 1,000 horsepower.
going downhill fast. Hey, Lightning, have you heard?
Maya?
No.
Okay.
GM Defense has a new tactical vehicle, and it's based on the
This thing looks like a joke. I
looks like
saw
Legos.
this.
The
This
Chevy
is-
ZR2.
It's just a truck with some cladding on it. It looks silly. That is the weakest attempt at a military vehicle. GM, come on now.
Okay, so you understand that this is like a COTS military vehicle,
I
right?
get it. Yeah, commercial off the shelf. It has
Yep.
to be like mostly parts that anyone can buy. But that's just like that's
To help
silly.
supply chain and all that. It's got
Yeah.
methods on it. That's kind of cool. It's got BFG KM3s, but it's basically like a crew cab long bed Silverado that
This
has
is something that like
armored
an
and-
officer would go to a meeting in, like maybe. Right? It's not for like Afghanistan.
I mean, it could be. I don't know. It's based on the HD ZR2. Anyway, that's not the point.
This reviewer says,
I know, but you're biased. What was interesting about it is it's an extended range EV with a diesel engine. The silence was deafening from Lightning there.
yeah, I mean, I know about this, but I can't say anything about it.
I know.
Like, yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
It's
It's got the turbocharged 2.8 liter Duramax turbo diesel, and that extends the range of the battery. No,
You don't want the 2.8.
Interesting. Even without any emission stuff on it because of the government.
It's not that wasn't the issue.
12 module battery,
What's the next story?
and it's comes with rollover protection, anti-lock brakes, electronic stability control, 4 and 5-point seatbelt harnesses, 360-degree camera. Sounds fancy for military guys.
What else do you have queued up over there?
It can also take advantage of existing JP8 kerosene-based fuel infrastructure and augmented with add-on armor. And it'll seat 2, 4, or 6. All right, Lighting. Fine. Have you heard?
I don't think so.
Our friends over at Nissan have teased the 2025 Frontier-based Trailgater build that will appear at SEMA.
Trailgater?
And I believe it is on our calendar for us to go have cocktails with them on one of those days and hang out and check out some of their SEMA vehicles. And so this has a overlanding, outdoorsy vibe. So it's a mix of trail and tailgater.
I love it. I wonder if
Trailgater,
they
right?
trademarked that name. That's a really cool name.
And it'll be on display all week at SEMA, just like us.
will be on display.
Yeah. Oh, we need to remind people we will be doing a live show inside the EGR booth on one of the days, which we'll tell you in the next episode.
We are?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess
Yeah.
I'm in.
So hopefully our listeners will come and watch us in person.
I'm going to make us new shirts. What do you think about that? Do you want a button down or should we make some cool tees? You want like racing shirts?
Racing shirts?
Yeah.
How about bowling shirts?
No, I'm not doing bowling shirts, and I'm over like the GM Mr. Goodwrench shirts. I want something different, cool.
What's cool and different anymore?
Would
Tactical
you wear? Would you
shirts?
wear an embroidered polo?
That's
No?
not us.
Then I'm going to make shirts, t-shirts.
Embroidered
Something-
polo's not.
I'm going to make
the
something,
podcast.
but I want to make colors this time. I want you and I to stand out.
Huh. I don't like any of this conversation.
All right, next.
Anyway, the Trailgator sits on 17-inch axis beadlock capable wheels, set of Yokohama Geolander MTs. This has the 6-foot bed in it, so this is the new for 25 Pro 4X that has the long bed, which is pretty cool. And they added a custom Dakota lithium battery pack with two 320 amp hour batteries. That's freaking
Dang.
massive. My Jeep has a 60 amp hour setup. This is 320. 1500 watt inverter, 40 amp onboard battery charger, 180 watt folding solar panel, two 43-inch TVs in their own protective cases, and a soundbar mounted to the rack, as well as a Dometic cooler, fold-out kitchen station, all that.
To put
good
in
stuff.
perspective, that you said 320.
Yeah,
So
320.
that you can power. I just happen to know
A lot.
You remember the sound guys that were there at the Banks event
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago
Yeah.
now. A big JBL, like a big JBL speaker that you'd have at a concert.
Yep.
A 320 kilowatt battery pack will power that at max volume for almost a week.
Yeah, 320 is a lot.
Yeah.
60 amp hours will power my Dometic fridge in the desert for a couple days.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's a lot of power. Anyway, looking forward to seeing Nissan's build at SEMA when we get there. Hey, Lighting, have you heard?
Maya,
No.
thank you.
So we've been talking about the downfall of Stellantis lately, and now there's
Not
been-
just us. Everyone's
everybody.
talking
And
about it now.
And now there's talk about apparently Chrysler, along with a few others, are on the chopping block, which sounds like all of them that aren't named Jeep and Ram. And apparently Tavares, who is the CEO right now, who is not doing a good job, confirmed that the Chinese were looking to buy it, and he said no.
Thank God.
That would be awful.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Could you imagine just like, oh, Jeep's now owned by the Chinese?
That'd be bad.
That would
You know what
hurt.
this is? It reeks of
Bad
like
enough it's owned by the French, but
this whole thing reeks of like investment bankers coming in, like what happened with Wheel Pros that everyone heard about. You know, they flip it to Hoonigan, and they fire everyone, and then they do all sorts of stuff, and they thrift the brands, and it's just. By the way, I wish my buddy over there would talk to us. He actually says they're doing pretty good. They've trimmed the fat, but actually, Wheel Pros, the company, is doing good, and the brands are healthy. So
is that because he trimmed the fat, or they trimmed the fat?
I don't know. He wasn't specific, but he did, because I said, how are you guys doing? Because all the rumors are that the company is going through BK right now. Are you okay? Are you, as a person, as my buddy, are you all right there? As your job security goes, we're actually doing pretty well. This is going to be really good for the company. I know him well enough that I don't think he's putting a spin on it for me. I think he's telling the truth, and the brands are going to come out in a better position.
All right, so when do we talk about Greg Adler going full circle then?
Now,
So as you guys know, Greg Adler, we had him on the podcast before. He basically sold Four Wheel Parts.
well,
and
should we back up? Greg Adler's father started
Four
Wheel Parts.
Yeah. Grandfather.
Grandfather. Yes, grandfather started, and then his father run it, got it to the behemoth that it was, and then kind of turned it over to Greg. And Greg is a genius. Not only is an off-road pro driver, but he's a genius. And then they
Hell of a
sold
business guy.
They sold all of Four Wheel Parts off to an investment company, and then that investment company then spun it off again to Polaris.
Right.
And then Polaris tanked it.
Yep.
And then
Wheel Pros got it.
And then Wheel Pros got it.
And then it dragged them down
And
like an anchor.
It dragged them, and they did all kinds of weird stuff.
In
And
meantime,
separating the assets all over the place.
While that stuff was going on, Greg said, "You know what? I'm bored, so I'm going to go buy my competitor Off-Road Warehouse, and I'm just going to rebuild Four Wheel Parts' Off-Road Warehouse, and we're going to go every place that Four Wheel Parts is, and I'm going to just re-own the industry for bring your vehicle in." And it was announced this week that Greg Adler and friends purchased Four Wheel Parts in all, I think, 42 stores.
Yes.
And so now ORW, Four Wheel Parts, One Happy Family, all of it owned by Greg, and he must be sitting there going, That was fun.
And you know what's amazing?
Well, we all knew it was going to
So
probably
if
happen.
you know the McDonald's story, and they were brilliant.
Where
The
they
McDonald's
own
story is
the real estate.
They land the
Yep.
dirt and the buildings.
Yep.
When they sold the business, they didn't sell most of the buildings or the land they
Right.
sat on. So he's basically buying everything at pennies on the dollar. He's buying the businesses back. And he already owned the land, so he doesn't have to pay for the land twice. And it's like, oh, it's so freaking brilliant. And Greg he's good people. I'm really excited for this to go down.
Yeah, we got to get him
I mean,
back
go
on
down in a good way.
Yeah. No, we got to get him back on the show because I remember we talked to him and we were like, so, you're basically just going to go open these stores and reclaim all the markets that you had. And he was like, yeah. And
if you grew up in Southern California in the 90s and 2000s,
everything was full parts.
you would have heard me on the radio as the voice of Four Wheel Parts on K-Rock and K-Earth and a bunch of other radio stations.
I told you the story of my buddy Ken with the 4 Parts sticker, right?
I don't think so.
Well, we were in high school, and he had a Suburban 2500, 6.5, what was the 6.2 non-turbo diesel, and it was like 85. And it had 16.5-inch wheels and 33s on it, the Goodyears that everybody had, the Wrangler ATs at the time. And I remember he's like, yeah, I'm going to go to 4 Wheel Parts, and we're going to get, side steps and a billet grill, and I'm going to get
That's
retro
what you
RS
did.
9000 shocks.
Yep.
So we did all that. We installed it at his house in his garage one day, and he got a blue. It was like a Travelong. Was it Travelong? Whatever the
Travelong.
Yeah. So anyway, it was one of those. So it was the gray two-tone with the blue. Gray.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
And so he got a blue 4 Wheel Parts sticker because he was like, "This is really cool. I got to have a blue matching because it was a big deal to have your windshield banner." From
And back
4 Wheel
then
Parts.
it said 4 Wheel Parts. It didn't say
4 Wheel Parts.
4WP.
No, 4
that
Wheel
was
Parts.
later.
It was spelled out.
Yeah.
And so my buddy Adam and I, where he parked in the driveway, had like one of those motion lights. We put a piece of tape over the motion light, and Adam and I came back in the middle of the night, and we cut up the sticker, and we reapplied it, and it said 4-inch wiener. And he drove around like that for quite a while until his dad got in one day, and I think he said they're going to church or something like that.
I do remember the story.
Yeah, and his dad looked at him and goes,
mocked him.
"You have a 4-inch wiener." And my buddy Ken's like, "What?" And anyway, so Adam and I. So when I think of 4 Wheel Parts, I think of 4-inch wieners.
I mean, you shouldn't.
I shouldn't, but that's,
You shouldn't.
so in
It's
some
wrong.
weird way. That's anyway. So go find your friends, mess up their windshield banners, and have fun.
We should get some time with Greg.
No, I texted him the other day. I actually sent him a note, and I said, "Hey, man, super awesome for this to happen." And his response, I said, I told him, "I'm happy for you to have your family legacy, what rightly belongs to you, back in your hands. Amazing story, an amazing path to get it back. Love to talk to you more." And he's like, "Yeah, thanks." So let's get him back on.
Let's hit him up at SEMA.
All right, Lightning, have you heard?
Oh, hell no!
Negative.
Going back to the sadness that is the Jeep brand, guess what midsize pickup truck is in last place for Q3?
So that's got to be the Jeep with the Gladiator.
So Q3, they sold less than 10,000. Yeah. Above them, Honda Ridgeline with 13,112.
Oh, that's got a sting.
The Nissan Frontier with nearly 15,000. The Ford Ranger with just over 15,000. The Colorado and Canyon combined, 39,000. That truck is killing it. And of course, the Tacoma, 57,000.
You know what it is? It's like here comes Stellantis with their the crazy French people. Who owns it now? The French,
Yeah, the
right?
French,
for
yeah.
sure. They walk into a steak house, a restaurant, right? Texas Roadhouse,
and they poop
roll
on
in.
the
Nope,
floor.
nope. They roll in and they're like, "We have the greatest vegan meals for you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
We want you to try the new tofu." And everyone's like, "Excuse me?" Steakhouse. And they're like, no, you guys don't understand. This is amazing. You'll love this vegan food. And they're like,
No, it's our steaks are now, we have the best steakhouse in the country, Michelin stars, and we're bringing you Beyond Meat.
yeah,
That's
Beyond
what it
Meat.
is.
That's what,
We swapped out all of your...
I came out with tofu, but I meant Beyond Meat. Yes,
yeah.
that's
So
the same
we
deal, yeah.
swapped out your delicious dry-aged Kobe or Akushi, and we're dropping Beyond Meat in there, and you guys are going to love it.
And everyone's like, and everyone just stands up and they walk out and the business folds because they didn't understand the customer.
Yeah, I don't get it. They started making changes over there, and it's not great. Ford Maverick in Q3, 31,883.
Wow.
And the Hyundai Santa Cruz, fortunately for Jeep, less than the Gladiator, 7,226. If the Hyundai Santa Cruz is beating you in sales, like just
Hang it up.
Yeah, hang it up at this point.
Oh,
Just figure it out, guys, because you're killing our brands that we love, and it's great vehicles. They're just I don't know. Anyway, Lightning, have you heard?
What are you, deaf and stupid? I said no.
No.
All right, so this is an announcement that Holman is right.
Yeah, I don't know what this story is. What?
So remember when I announced the GX line was coming out and it had Overtrail or Overtrail Plus to it? And that means that you can get the more off-roady version of the Lexus GX.
Yes.
And I said, that's interesting. Now that we don't have a true full-size Land Cruiser, we only have the Lexus version of the LX. Wouldn't that be amazing if they added an Overtrail trim on that with the lockers and gave it the off-road package it desperately has been wanting?
And they did.
Sure enough, here we go. Lexus LX 700H, which is the new hybrid version, now gets an off-road trim. So you'll be able to get the new LX 700H. So that's combined output of 457 horsepower, 583 pound-feet of torque. That's better numbers than the Tundra iForce Max's total system output. And they estimate that it'll do 20 miles per gallon in the combined cycle, which is pretty impressive.
The price has got to be
it's
120.
I don't know what it is. It's not going to be cheap. But what's interesting is they decided to make this Overtrail trim. So now it has front and rear differential lockers, which is freaking awesome.
Interesting.
And it also gets a 265 70 18 tire all-terrain, or you could get a mud snow tire, depending on your region.
It's interesting that they went with the 18. I know it's like that's the real off-road size, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't cave to like the trend of 20s and larger.
No, they already have those, but they wanted an off-road
to go
version.
down to get the
sidewall.
meat. Yeah.
And of course, this isn't the only place Overtrail can be found, as the NX got it a few months ago. But I knew it was coming. I figured if you're going to do the Overtrail off-road package on the GX, you have to do it on the LX, because you basically vacated an off-road true Land Cruiser, not the Prado, but the full size. So anyway, it's going to be available here for 2025, and it's got a whole bunch of different options. Of course, all the luxury. It's their top. In the U.S., it starts at $93,915. Lightning, would you like to find out where it ends up at?
Yeah, I mean, I said 120, but
Lightning, would you like to a second bite of that apple?
okay, well, then I'm going to go lower. Then if it started at 93, then it's going to be 104.
134,490.
What? What?
I know, right?
What? No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. And now,
That's
wait, hold on.
crazy.
Here's me going, nobody's going to take a $130,000 vehicle off-road. And then I'm like, well,
Yeah, I mean,
Prospector XL,
yeah.
my
G-Wagon,
wasn't fully loaded.
Oh,
I
it's
mean,
crazy.
anyway.
Do you know what's weird? Can I just have an aside for a second?
Sure, you always
so
like those.
so with a YouTube channel, right? I'm Mr. YouTuber now because I got like my 50.
You're
whatever,
not,
7,000.
but
No,
sure,
of course
okay.
I'm not. I'm not.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
not. But I'm having some fun with it.
Yeah.
At first, you get your core audience, whatever that means. You get the people who are interested in your content, whatever you do.
Yep.
Then you start getting the periphery as YouTube starts to share to more people to see, hey, I wonder if these fringe audiences are interested in your content. And what I found is that the longer that my videos were out there, I started getting more people saying, oh, you're just rich. Why do you have bollards? You have a TRX? You're rich. You're rich. And I'm thinking this whole time, like, I
know you. You're the opposite of rich.
I get, right? So it's so weird because I know me, you know me, all my friends all know me. And like,
It's all about what you put out in the world, my friend.
no. But it's like, even if I bought this car cash, I'm still
listen.
not rich because to the guys that I look up to.
Can we be honest
who
real
are
quick?
like, yeah.
When you pull your bollards up, you actually had rich etched into them, eat the poor. That's not helping you when people walk by your driveway, okay?
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't. It's just interesting that the sentiment turned and they were like, why are you, this is rich people problems. And I'm thinking
why
to
do you care?
myself.
It is rich people problems, but why do you care?
But no, to me, the rich guy is he's got Lamborghinis and
That's
10
to
houses.
you. You're
and-
talking to the dude
I
who
know, but the
Got a
perception is,
clapped out old Toyota pickup truck.
I
and-
guess, it's weird. You know, we're always looking up. It's like, so.
Are we? Are we always looking up?
I am.
Some people are just happy where they are.
I'm not.
No. I'm like on a barca lounger in the sea, just floating around. I'm like, I'm good.
No, man.
Just chilling.
There's so many more toys I want to buy that I can't afford. There's so many. I've been looking at Gallardos.
Uh-huh.
And then friggin' Doug DeMuro comes up with, like, he just does a video 2 days ago, or whenever it was, about a 2004,
Everybody
which
loves
arguably the worst Gallardo, the first one. And within days, now Gallardos are going up like 10, 15% in price.
I can't
just
do it.
like
I've told you
just
before.
like that.
I can't do it. I can't do it. Like he did a Vector video.
Yeah.
And I love the Vector because that was the weirdest thing growing up.
You didn't like his video?
It was horrible.
Oh, I love
I
his
just can't
videos.
even stand
It's
it.
great.
I just
He's so
his
silly and
inflection,
animated.
it's
Yeah.
So is he on the spectrum or something? Like
I don't know.
Is that
He's a
really
nice
how he
guy.
is?
I don't know.
Yeah,
his
it's just weird.
he was a writer. He's so creative. He's interesting.
I don't get
Really?
that vibe.
You
from
don't see
him.
it? Like,
it's just some guy with a weird.
this is a 2004
it doesn't work here.
Gallardo.
It doesn't work here.
I'm going to take you
his
through
affect
the
is
eccentricities.
He's eccentric. I don't like it. It's the affect is weird, and you know people listening probably think our affect is weird, and I get it. It's just not. You know, I wouldn't have ordered his flavor of pizza. That's all I'm saying.
I gotcha.
You know,
Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not buying a Gallardo because he's pushing the price up.
you weren't
Bastard.
buying one anyway, so
No, I wasn't. No. Gotta pay this one off first.
All right, one last piece here. Lightning. Have you heard?
No.
Thank you.
Shelby has released a performance package for the Ford F-150 Raptor and Raptor R. On the V8, you get an increase to 900 horsepower.
Holy balls.
And the V6 package price starts at a cool $51,995.
So that is 51 on
include
top
the
of the
base
truck.
That's why I'm looking at like old Super Duty, like regular cab trucks. I just want simple.
But
seems-
Shelby is, I think when you price out the stuff that they're putting on it, you could probably pick it up for 18 grand and they're charging 50
maybe.
for it. I mean,
But,
it's just
yeah,
silly.
There's some integrations that are nice, but
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a 3.8 liter Whipple supercharger, borderless exhaust, BDS suspension lift kit. I mean, it's nothing crazy.
No, I mean, isn't this
18-inch
what
Shelby
Hennessy's
Raptor?
doing on all that? Like, it's just.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of. Let me just put it this way: I feel like there's companies who do their own thing holistically, and then there's companies that just package everybody else's stuff,
And that's what Shelby-
tie it together
yeah,
with a
that's what
bunch of
Shelby's
like
doing.
logos and badges and
Yeah,
stuff. So
yeah.
Anyway, the V8 package price is not that bad if you consider the V6 at $51,995.
Yeah.
It's a cool $54,995. So I mean, that's not awful comparatively.
Not good.
No, it's not.
You understand if I took my truck, for example, all right,
Yeah.
and I brought it to SRT Lab or whatever they call themselves out in Phoenix, and I handed them $50,000, my truck is
You would have a
707.
second truck?
I would have I would get back like an 1,100 horsepower truck. You know, for $50,000, it would eat every Raptor, and then I would have probably $20,000 left over.
And then you would buy your Gallardo?
No, I wouldn't spend that much. I'm not going to. What I'm saying is like it's way too much money for what you're getting for Shelby.
And also their 2024 Shelby Baja Raptor, so the V6, it only gives you 550 horse. It's only 100 more.
I mean,
It's nice.
nice, but not for that price.
I mean, I really want to be like, yay, but I'm kind of like,
It's not like you're getting. It's not like Carol Shelby signed your
Right.
dashboard or
Yeah.
something. You're
Right.
not. It's
Yeah.
just
yeah.
yeah.
All right. Hey, Lighting, have you heard?
Now, this one's for you.
I don't watch the news because I'm a kid.
Well, that's good because this newscast is over.
The Truck Show Podcast is a production of Truck Famous LLC. This podcast was created by Sean Holman and Jay Tillis with production elements by DJ Omar Khan. If you like what you've heard, please open your Apple Podcast or Spotify app and give us a 5-star rating. And if you're a fan, there's no better way to show your support than by patronizing our sponsors. Some vehicles may have been harmed during the making of this podcast.